Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing well. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great, and appreciate you stopping by. The Miami Heat are going to take on the Washington Wizards tonight. I'm recording this video before the game because this is something that's kind of gone into the story of the Miami Heat as they're in the midst of a win streak as I record this. Hopefully that'll be extended. Although I don't want to get into the mode of taking anything for granted with this team just because they've won 4 straight and could get their first 5-game win streak of the season. But I wanted to get to Erik Spoelstra, who had some comments today about the state of Andrew Wiggins, because I was a little bit worried when I read some of the quotes in Ira Winderman's column today. And he's dealing with a hamstring injury. He's dealt with a lot of various injuries since he's been with the Miami Heat. And it's odd because he's normally a very, very durable player. But this, for whatever reason, has been an odd stint for him where he's had a lot of stuff to deal with. And that's one of those things where I'm like, all right, well, what the hell's going on here? Is he going to be able to come back? Because hamstrings are squirrely. You really don't know when it's one of these things where you don't know, like, what are the things that are going to be that take you out on a certain night. And this thing is got him a little bit. But here was Erik Spoelstra and what he had to say on Andrew Wiggins and his health status.
We feel really good about where our game is when he's available. So we're just focused on getting his body feeling right. We've all seen it. We have the continuity, enough of it, because he's a plug-in, fit-in guy. He just makes us different. We all feel it. We all see it. So the priority is just getting his body right.
But in addition to that, he also said today, he was like, with Andrew, there's no timetable. And I was like, no timetable? Like, what do you mean there's no timetable, dude? Like, that always makes me nervous. When Erik Spoelstra goes, there's no timetable. This is the quotes from Ira Winderman from his article. He said on Andrew Wiggins and his health, he says, I don't have any timetable on it, but he's definitely making some progress. And when he was asked, would he be there before the end of the regular season, mind you, whether there's 9 games left, 8 games left, he says, quote, I don't have an update. And that just makes me nervous. I don't know what to do with, I don't pretend to know. I don't pretend to sit here and be a doctor about anything. I just am telling you that whenever it comes to health and all that stuff, when it comes to the Heat, they're very, very squirrely on the deets, and I get nervous. And so from my standpoint, when I heard that today from Erik Spoelstra, I was like, oh man, this is this does not have me feeling great right now. As a follow-up, a couple of things that I wanted to touch on here. The Miami Heat, are going into a very interesting offseason. We can say that. And we don't really know what the path is right now. Hell, we don't even know if they're going to be in the playoffs right now. They got to win in the play-in to get in. We don't know what their draft situation is going to be because that's going to dictate, if they get in the playoffs, what their draft status is going to be. We got to find out Golden State. Hell, there's a chance Golden State could screw the pooch and not get in the playoffs if they F around and end up in the play-in. I think they'll be okay, but I don't know that they'll be okay. So we're just sitting here. But it was interesting. We talked a little bit about this Ja Morant stuff that was going on with the Grizzlies. And Ja Morant, we've been very curious about this whole future for Ja and what's going on with the Grizzlies. And today, Kendrick Perkins, he was sitting here and he was like, I think that he's auditioning for a new team. And make with that what you will. Sometimes Kendrick Perkins got sources. Sometimes he just says some wild stuff. But this is what Perk had to say today on ESPN.
Talked about Memphis. Ja Morant. It seemed like he was going to be the face of the league. Now, is Ja Morant basically playing for his, I guess, Memphis tenure?
He is. He is at this point. Ja Morant is auditioning. If you look at the firing of Taylor Jenkins, this came from the front office because they couldn't see eye to eye for us. Taylor Jenkins wanted to run his own offense. And so all of a sudden you had the front office, BC, that hired his coaching staff, right? Which Memphis have one of the best offensive teams in the league, but they run the less pick and rolls in the league, right? Ja Morant thrives better in what? When he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
So that means this firing also shows me that we don't care what you think, Ja. So I think from this point forward, Ja Morant is auditioning. And Bobby, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this summer he's eligible for a contract extension that could probably touch about $300 million?
He's extension eligible for 125. I would just say this: the Luka trade showed us that there's only a handful of players that are untouchable in this league. There's probably 3 guys that are untouchable. So certainly a quick exit by Memphis. We're certainly going to be talking about the future of Ja Morant this offseason.
It's interesting, and that has been brought up in this season, and it has, and I know that their GM has already come out strong against it, but we said this with the Taylor Jenkins firing, that it's like, that was weird, and there's only certain reasons why you do that, and one of them is, hey, our star is unhappy, and now it seems like he's unhappy with the system, he's unhappy with the way that he's being utilized, and maybe other guys aren't so unhappy. Like, there's been some infighting. I don't know if you saw Desmond Bane was getting into it with Aldama on their team because he wasn't defending hard enough. This Grizzlies team, in a lot of ways, kind of like the Heat had, some infighting, talking about roles not being happy, and things just feeling like they run their course. Things in the NBA don't last as long as they used to. If you get 5 years out of something, that's a pretty damn good run. Once you get to the point of getting past that, it's almost to the point where things get stale. Guys want to do their own thing. Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., other guys coming up. They got a guy in Jalen Wells who they're super excited about. Yeah, maybe this is the year where they cast off a Ja Morant who's already had his own injury issues and headaches, and now didn't seem like he was so happy with the direction of the organization and things are going. So to see now this is getting some more steam naturally, it's not surprising because it was such a flummoxing move that they made, but it certainly adds more credence that what we were talking about this weekend isn't exactly out of nowhere. If I could just close with this before we get into some Heat action tonight, I see a lot of stuff on Twitter today, and man, it's stupid because Dwyane Wade is getting thrown into a lot of these, is such and such greater than such and such. But one of that has been really old. Like I saw one Celtics child today say Jayson Tatum's better than Dwyane Wade, which I'm like, bro, come on. Like, do you know how long it took Jayson Tatum to go and get what Dwyane Wade had, how many seasons it took to go get what Dwyane Wade had, and then on top of it, he wasn't even the catalyst. Like, he was the 4th most important Celtic when they did it. Please stop. And also, when he got to the Olympics, he was the leading scorer off the bench. He wasn't a bench rider. So please, I beg you kids, when you're sitting there with your little TV dinners and you're eating your brownie and your PJs and you say things like this, for God's sakes, throw on a YouTube of the 2006 finals, take your juice box, suck that down, learn something, and shut the hell up before you put Dwyane Wade in the category of Jayson Tatum. Because Jayson Tatum doesn't even deserve to be in the same breath as Dwyane Wade. But the other one, and this one is honestly one of those ones where I didn't even want James Harden on the Miami Heat because of this, is because for whatever reason, basically Kevin Durant started this because he started with the whole list of like, he exiled Dwyane Wade from the top 10 and put James Harden on his list, and Dwyane Wade came out with the whole thing where he's like, make them remember your name. And James Harden and the Clippers, bully for them. They've had a nice season, right? And James Harden, who has been at one point at the top of the league, this man who is sitting here with his trickery. The league had to change the rules because he was such a free throw merchant. And I mean that in a way where he didn't earn his free throws throwing his neck at the rim. Like Jimmy Butler, people say he's a free throw merchant. Jimmy Butler will run into your ass, and you will do nothing about it, and he'll get to the free throw line. James Harden is out here flopping like a windsock, cheating the game, to get to it, all right? He's basically the human torpedo bat of basketball. But I am so sick of every time this guy has a good game at the age of 35. People are like, what was Dwyane Wade doing at 35? Blah, 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 blah. It's like the fact that James Harden has so much of a mountain to climb to even sniff Dwyane Wade territory is that you even have to throw what he's doing at 35 on the Clippers is so laughable and so embarrassing that one of the all-time playoff choke artists is talked about in the same breath as Dwyane Wade, who has been there, led the league in scoring. He's done all that stuff. But the man has been such a perennial winner his entire career since he's walked onto a basketball court when he was getting triple doubles in the final mother bleeping 4, when he walks in hitting game winners as a rookie. James Harden was just wilting on Oklahoma City, wilting at the Houston Rockets when he was the star of the league and the MVP, a gimmick trophy, by the way, and always choked. And the fact that you trolls and dum-dums have the audacity, and may I say the audacity, to keep bringing his name up with Dwyane Wade is not only patently absurd, it is fortifiably stupid. And I'm sick of it. I am tired of this being brought up on debate shows. It is embarrassing that this league, which won't even let LeBron James near the GOAT conversation because he has 4 rings to Jordan's 6, that he has 4 to Kobe's 5. But Dwyane Wade, who has 3 more championships than James Harden and has never wilted in a playoff series, and you're trying to sit here and tell me that this dude, who is known more for choking and whining and going to strip clubs than he is for winning championships, that the only trophy that he's held up is an ace of spades at a strip club with sparklers flying out of the bottle, as compared to Dwyane Wade, who's got 3 mother bleeping rings. And I still got to see this stuff on Twitter because it's run by children, trolls, and bots, is a waste of everybody's time, unbelievably stupid, and I really think you need, dude, do yourself a favor. See if you, first of all, if you want to even call him a 2 guard, he's been a point guard basically the majority of his career. But see if he can catch up to somebody with 1 ring. See if he can catch up to Jayson Terry before you even compare him to Dwyane Wade. It is so dumb and such a waste of time. It's almost embarrassing that Dwyane Wade has to address this. He's and he's so cordial about it. He's so nice. But the fact that he's even going to Mr. No Rings, even if he got a ring this year and the Clippers by some miracle, let's say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander left the Oklahoma City Thunder in the midst of the postseason to become a Tibetan monk, and he decided, I'm going to work at White Lotus, and he didn't want to be on the Oklahoma City Thunder or run for the playoffs, and LeBron James and Luka Doncic said they were infighting, and they get bounced, and Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, if somehow the Clippers won it this year, and James Harden was finals MVP, you know what I say that at? Took you 15 years to catch up to Dwyane Wade. Get the holy hell out of here. I am so sick of seeing this on my social media timeline.